I am live with Allison Lobel, who
Hi.
is who is a good friend of mine from college who has had the fortune of joining Game of Thrones the rock musical and Unauthorized Parody. So, she was kind enough to not only dress up as her character, the wonderful Sansa, as you can see, but give Watchers on the Wall an exclusive interview. I wanted to see how it is that you first got involved with the whole production.
Well, actually, I auditioned for the two Stevens who wrote it. They wrote a Lost musical a few years ago. So I auditioned for that. And I was kind of too busy at the time. And they went another way at the casting. But when I found out they were doing Game of Thrones, the musical, which is one of my absolute most favorite shows, I knew I had to audition again.
So you were a fan of Lost and then a fan of Game of Thrones, or?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both shows, but probably
choice.
Game of Thrones is more.
Sure.
But yeah, I auditioned almost exactly a year ago, so it's been going on for a while now.
Wow. So were you, from my understanding, the show was it was in LA and West Hollywood, and then it was at San Diego Comic-Con. Were you in it all the way through?
Yes, I've been in the show. We opened last February, March, for a 2-month run in Los Angeles, and then we were for a week during San Diego Comic-Con.
Have you played the same part all the way through?
Yeah, I've always been Sansa. Mm-hmm.
So how has the show evolved and changed? What's different? What's the same?
There's a lot of improv in it, so almost every single show we do is different. It keeps you on your toes, and a lot of the actors are UCB, Second City, Groundlings. They are quick and hilarious, so every show's been changing from the beginning, but also when we went to San Diego, we wanted to freshen it up and add new choreography, tighten the harmonies, and we're going to bring even more new choreography and new exciting stuff for the New York run.
Nice. Do you have an improv background as well?
Yeah, I went to UCB for a little while.
Awesome. Very cool. So we all know Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones on HBO. How much of her performance has influenced what you do or what you don't do? How much of it, do you want to make your own or make sure that people recognize Sansa from the show, or what's your process there?
Yeah, well, we're a parody musical, so we kind of bring out the silliest traits of our characters, and I'm playing season 1 Sansa. So, she wasn't the brightest of the bunch. The beginning, she was an optimist. So, I mean, it's pretty much like the closest thing I can think of is like a Disney princess, but in this world where people are getting beheaded. So, my portrayal of her is very bright and sunny. But obviously, Sansa in the show currently, she is much more aware of what's going on. And so, even though it's still season 1, I feel like in Act 2, she's already starting to figure out that Joffrey is not the best. And and we have a song called "Stronger," which is kind of like our woman anthem of the show. And so that is where I kind of try to bring in later season Sansa into it.
So the show is exclusively season 1?
Yeah, it goes till end of Ned Stark, but we have lots of references.
Spoilers.
To seasons.
Jeez.
Wait, people haven't
Sorry,
seen
everybody.
season 1 yet? I read a theory the other day that people still think Ned Stark's alive.
People say that every other day. He's in a sword. He's in a wolf hide. He's in a tree. We already have a character who's half wolf, half tree. We got a tree character now, so who knows?
Many tree characters.
So without going into, I guess we all know the plot of season 1, book 1, as you will. Without going into spoilers of your version of the show, what's your favorite moment or scene, or what's your favorite part to perform?
My favorite part is actually just the opening number, because it's really the only big moment where everyone's on stage together. And we kind of just bombard the audience at once with all the characters. And it's really cool. I like watch the audience during this moment because they're all going along the line, looking at them and going, "Oh, it's Hodor. Oh, it's Cersei." Like everyone's like kind of grinning and beaming as they see their characters coming at them. So it's not necessarily the funniest moment of the show, but it's the most exciting for me because I'm a huge fan of Game of Thrones, and kind of seeing people like light up as we come on stage. That's my favorite part.
So how many, I think I read this, there's 12 people in the show? Did I get that right?
13, I think.
13?
Yeah.
Which characters, if you can think of them? Who made the cut?
We have the Starks, except for, what's
Rickon?
his face?
No
Rickon.
more,
We
no
don't have Rickon. We have Bran, Sansa, Arya, Ned, Catelyn. We have the Lannisters, Cersei, Jaime. We have Joffrey. We have Jon Snow, Daenerys, Khal Drogo. We have
Eleven. Oh, you mentioned
Samwell.
Sam. You mentioned Hodor, right?
Hodor. The guy who plays
W13.
Hodor plays Sam and King
Oh.
Robb.
Okay.
Is that everybody?
Okay. No Theon. No Greyjoys.
No Greyjoys. No Yara. Yara's one of my favorite characters in the
She's
show.
not in season 1,
But
though,
she's not in
so.
season 1. And Theon's not really big in season 1 yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, if you had to play a different character, who would it be and why?
Well, if we're going to say, like, in the whole series, I love Marjorie. She's not in our show, but Marjorie is one of my all-time favorite characters on the show.
So, in terms of the next step, you're already coming to New York. That's awesome. Where could the show go next? Where maybe the producers or the writers, where do they see it going?
Well, after Comic-Con, we've gotten actually quite a few offers and bites from different places. I'm not totally in the know of what's going on exactly, but they've talked about a tour, and we even talked about going to Croatia, where they actually filmed some of Game of Thrones. So that's what all the cast really wants to do, is go to the actual locations where they film the show. But yeah, there's been a few places around the country that have also been talking to the producers and stuff. So there's definitely options of it moving on to different places. So hopefully, I love it so much.
I would love to see it performed in Dubrovnik in Croatia.
Yeah.
That'd be very cool. So to cap it all off, I was just curious, now that you've been involved with the parody business of the biggest TV show on the planet, what other book series, TV show, movie, whatever it is that you're a big fan of, presumably fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, would you want to see get the parody treatment, or maybe even the serious musical treatment? So parody musical or serious musical treatment.
I love this question because actually being in this show has made me so much more excited about musical theater. I hadn't been in a musical for a while, and it suddenly was like, oh my God, I want to write a musical. And my idea was I really wanted to do a musical of Stardust by Neil Gaiman.
That is an incredible movie. Great choice.
Wouldn't that be cool? The pirates
so cool.
singing in the sky. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, so that's what I would want to do.
Only if we get Robert De Niro. Only if we get Robert De Niro.
Exactly. He's the only one who can do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much
you.
for taking the time. And we really appreciate you giving us this exclusive interview. So fun.
Of course. It was really
Talk
good
to you
talking to you,
soon.
David.